governors are fighting it. They do not want that to be. But the question is, where is the opposition? What's going on? For example, the People's Democratic Party, completely balkanized. The only person who seems to be speaking most of the time there is Atiku Abubakar. We saw what transpired in Rivers State. Where was the PDP in this whole situation? Where was their talk? Where was their call? Now it's the Labour Party, For now, it feels like the only face to the Labour Party is Mr. Peter Obi, the former Anambra State Governor and the 2023 flag bearer of the Labour Party. So the question is now, aside from coming out on Twitter or social media to make remarks criticizing, putting conjectures or giving clarifications to certain issues in the national polity, what else can the opposition do? What are they afraid of? That's the question a lot of Nigerians are asking. And those are one of the things we'll be looking into today in the hot topic. Before we even move on, later in the program, because I expected that by now my guest in the studio will be here. I've called him and he said he's actually very close by. My guest is Honorable Ife Salako. He's a Labour Party legal spokesperson. And I feel like he is going to be here to speak on behalf of the party. What exactly is the party doing about the entire situation? Then with this administration on board, or rather since this political party took charge of affairs in the country, we've never experienced the kind of ethnic divide that Nigeria is currently going through at this time, and this needs to be addressed. That's the question I want to address to him. So every effort you make to discuss national issues, there is a distraction, there is a method to truncate it, and then the dramatic events that take place within the political bureaucrats every day almost seems like this drama deliberately occurs to divert the attention of a couple of us. Well, that will not derail us anyway from looking at issues as best as we can look at them. So let's look at the hot topics this evening before I introduce my guests that will be joining me on the evening rush to discuss some topical issues across Nigeria's socio-economic and political landscape. Now, one of the very interesting things, I'm sure you heard me read it during the world news at 6, is that the fact that the court has backtracked upholding Senate suspension of Natasha. You recall that the court said they were not happy with the way the Senate went ahead with the suspension without waiting for the court order. Well, let's just say that the court has upheld the suspension of the National Assembly on Senator Natasha Akbuti. A couple of you would say you're not surprised, right? Well, interesting. Like they say, Nigerians are the only ones that can decide how they want this country to turn out for them. Now, you know that we heard lately today that there was an explosion. One of the NNPC pipelines was actually tampered with, but NNPC has come out to refute the claim and say that's not true. They had no issue with their pipeline. Now, the funny thing is the fact that in Rivers State, remember yesterday when we were having this conversation, I was asking my guest, Mr. Lawal Ekundaya, that what is now going to happen, right, to the money that was paused from being, allocated to the Rivers State government? Well, the federal government is to release Rivers allocation to the sole administrator. Isn't that interesting? So quick, so swift. So the administrator does not have issues with money to run the affairs of the state. And to make it quite interesting, we saw pictures and videos of this vice admiral who is in charge of the affairs in Rivers State being in a good handshake with the SCT minister as well as a couple of their caucus. So the question now comes to mind that wouldn't the president have chosen someone more neutral, not someone who already has a close affiliation with these individuals who seem to be the main actor for the political instability in Rivers State? Okay, so as well as you know, the president has sworn in Ibas as the sole administrator of Rivers State. Okay, and as it stands, as it's supposed to be right now, we saw a situation where there was an unrest in Ondo State. Now, they had to go to the state secretariat to call out the state governor there. They're saying that the killings by farmers, by herdsmen, has gotten so bad. 5 farmers were killed, and they said it needs to stop. In Akure, it can no longer continue. Akure is in Ondo State, right? Or, yes, exactly. That's the capital. Now, they said the killings can no longer continue. We can't keep quiet. And I saw earlier today on Sahara Reporters where Boko Haram in Yobe State killed 3 military men. We saw them. They were all knelt down and, their hands tied at the back. They showed a before picture when they were alive with their faces and an after picture when they shot them behind the head. And Nigerians now went and said, is this not the state that is meant to be declared as a state of emergency, where you've had Boko Haram killing, ISWAP killing for the past almost 8-9 years? These states in the north have been plagued and bedeviled by consistent insecurity. Some of them are being levied, being taxed. The community members pay levies and tax to these non-state actors, and they haven't declared a state of emergency in those states. So the irony is basically what is glaring in the minds of a lot of Nigerians. And obviously, when you think about some situation as it unfolds in this part of the world, you begin to question our democracy. The president the other day announced that our democracy is still struggling, but that we have the potential, all right, to get to our El Dorado. But there are pressing issues of ethnic divide, political and religious intolerance amongst persons. And this administration seems to have widened it. Well, not just this administration, like the All Progressives Congress as a political party seem to have thrust it on that intricate bias, and they seem to be feeding it, and it's gotten worse this time around. So if the country needs to move forward economically, democratically, are we not supposed to form a synergy? Let there be a collective way of reasoning, all right, in handling issues. Well, like I said, these are some of the issues I'll be looking in today on the evening rush, and we intend to do a step down, hopefully, because we need to calm ourselves down. We cannot continue to be yarning Nigerian matter every day. I remember on one of the posts on social media, one of our co-presenters said, all you political and current affairs anchors, how is your mental state this period that you guys have been trying to dissect the political atmosphere, the political scenario in the country? I want to tell my colleague that we are managing. We just have to ensure that we remain, objective in how we look at issues and try to calm down our callers and those who are listening to us. So that's just that's the entire situation. But as it stands now, it's quite interesting to see that Admiral Ibas will definitely be getting the fund that was denied Governor Fubara of Rivers State to ensure that he has a proper, seamless administrative process. The APC has come out to support what the president did. The PDP knocked the president for doing what he did, and it's a whole back and forth. Now, the question is, what is going on with the Ijaw youths? Remember, I spoke with somebody who is currently there, and I told the person that we'll be speaking with him later on in this particular program while we're having a conversation. I'm actually waiting for my guest because I just called him a few minutes ago and he told me that he'll be here soon. I hope he doesn't disappoint because I really want to ask him intricate question on the fact that they underside they are the opposition and what is the opposition doing with all of this scenario. However, right here in the studio, I actually have with me Mr. Lawal Ekundayo. Mr. Lawal Ekundayo is a social and political commentator. Mr. Lawal, how are you?
I'm fine.
Please come closer to the microphone. Put it closer. We need to hear your voice. Good evening. How are you today?
Yeah, better.
You're better. You're always
Never
better.
Fine. we are not fine in Nigeria now. We are just either better or not better.
All right. I'm going to be waiting for Honorable Ife Salako. He's a Labour Party Lagos spokesperson. I do hope that he gets here on time because I want to see what the opposition has done, beyond Twitter. Finally, you're here. Thank you for joining me. Eventually, were you constrained by traffic? Is that the situation? A couple of things. Thank you for making it eventually. Ladies and gentlemen, already have Honorable Ife Salako right here, the Labour Party spokesperson, and obviously we'll be divesting into issues across, Nigeria's social, economic, and political landscape. Good evening, and thank you for joining us on the Evening Rush.
Hello, good evening.
Hello,
everyone.
that voice, that voice. I wanted to know that Ife Salako is also, are you still a broadcaster? But he used to be a broadcaster, so don't be surprised why you have that voice there. Ife Salako, how do you find this challenging time in our political landscape?
Well, it's actually, for some of us, we knew it was going to be like this. You
knew?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Oh, we saw the handwriting on the wall, and we warned a lot of people about it. You see, governance requires for you to put people who are who value life, who have values in the first place, who understand what it means to govern people, and not just driven by their extreme selfish interests, and people who are just bent on making things work only for themselves. So, and when you have people like this who are not compassionate, who are not driven by integrity, who are not driven by the basic requirements of leadership, when you find them struggling and doing everything to steal power, you would know that they can only get power. They would not be able to govern, because being able to have power and being able to govern, being able to lead, these are different things entirely. And unfortunately, we have had a society where a whole lot of irregularities have been I've been given the voice, where you have people who, and I mean, some days ago we had the former president Olusegun Obasanjo, who said even at our traditional levels, we have people that are criminals, people that are probably drug dealers, or that are now becoming traditional rulers. So when you, and so I'm a typical Yoruba man, and I have a whole lot of cultural guiding that are leaning to the Yoruba heritage. There is a song in the Fuji song that was out there some time ago, and it says that meaning that you want a prosperous village, but you have a chief. The chief of the village is selling weed, the wife is selling alcohol, and you think your society
would be normal.
It can't be normal. It can't be normal. I love that proverb.
Beautiful one.
It's a fact, So when you have people who are not driven by the core values of life, who are not driven by integrity, they are not thinking of anybody that is competent. All they think of is how am I going to get the next election? And that is what is playing out right now, in the society, from the economy to security, to our health sector, to education. Everything that concerns this country, even in the politics of the country right now, we can see that what is playing right now is the fact that a whole lot of people that are in, at the ends of affairs just think that, we must do this thing to favor ourselves and ourselves alone. So, I mean,
it's interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Evening Rush. My name is Esther Machuku, and obviously I have two very distinct individuals, Mr. Lawal Ekundaya and Ife Salako, Labour Party legal spokesperson. And you just heard his introduction here. There's a reason why I brought Honorable Ife Salako to the studio today. The reason why I brought him is the fact that are you still a member of the Labour Party? Obviously you
yes,
are.
I am.
Do you have any intention of defecting to any other political party anytime soon?
Well, so I mean, I used to say that I don't think it is right to move from one party to the other, but I have a completely different perspective about party now, about party politics, because we when you take a round peg and put it in a square hole, you won't it won't balance. We're practicing the democracy that was handed over to us by the British, who are practicing a different democracy from what we are practicing right now. And, so everything doesn't seem to work the way so sometimes we look at the ideology of, the Western democracy, and we say, when you're this, you're that, when you stay here, you stay here. Nigeria it's never going to work. You be in a party that works for your ideology at the moment, and you work with it. The reason
why I asked is that a lot of Labour Party members have defected. The last time we asked them questions, why are they defecting in droves? And a couple of explanations that we heard behind the scenes was, you guys don't know the kind of pressure we go through in the house, how we are suppressed as a minority, and the fact that you're an opposition in the house. So it's better if you join the party so that whatever bills they want to pass for their constituents will easily be listened to.
That's a lie.
Well, another issue, is the fact that we had Valentine, a very close loyalist of the Labour Party and close ally of Peter Obi, switched to the very party that supposedly contravenes the ethics and stance and representation of the All Progressives Congress. Now, the big question is this, Mr. Ifesalako, what is going on with the opposition? For example, what happened yesterday, we saw Atiku immediately tweet, right? The PDP too, in fact, their response, Nigerians, they just think it's just political protocol. Let it be like there is an opposition speaking.
Yeah.
This morning, the Labour Party also tweeted in reaction to, Peter Obi, not even the Labour Party, Peter Obi, right, tweeted in reaction to what happened yesterday. A couple of persons have been coming out. The Labour Party themselves, as a political party, has not actually said anything. I don't know if they've said something, but I haven't seen it in the dailies or any of the papers. So Nigerians are now asking the question, in all of this quagmire we're going through, with the henchmen in our polity taking over affairs and doing what seemingly seems what they like, which obviously does not benefit the people in general, just if a sect of persons. Why is the opposition just laid back? Why are they this weak?
Okay, so well, the oppositions are speaking. They are doing what they could. Maybe what you see, there are dynamics to these things.
All right.
The kind of opposition that APC played against the PDP, they can't bear it. I mean, Tinubu was part of a protest that happened at Ojota here, and where people he led it. He was part of the people who sponsored that protest. Who in the opposition now would want to lead a protest? They're going to get the person if that person wakes up in his house the following day. So you are talking about people who cannot take criticism. They are the ones that are in power now. They can't take criticism. They cannot stand even the opposition itself. So for Labour Party, that I know for what people have been saying.
Sorry. Apologies. Sorry.
Pardon me.
No, you can go ahead and relieve yourself. Sorry to apologize. Are you okay now?
Yes.
Sorry.
Right. They want to get my voice, but they will not.
They won't get your voice. They won't get your voice.
So I was saying that for the Labour Party, which I know of, right? The Labour Party, a lot of people have been saying what you're saying now. As regards people leaving the party go to other parties.
All right.
Taking the example you mentioned, for people like Balema.
Yes.
Or Balami rather, and for Valentino Sibu and all. You see, for me, it is the fact that, like I said, Labour Party is a party that got into the national, presence through the Peter Obi wave that came into the party, and so a whole lot of people just blindly followed Peter Obi. And when you have a group of people moving in a particular direction, at some point in time, you find out that not every one of them are clear about the direction at which they were going. When you find out that something happened, if there is a kind of like a mayhem somewhere, you find people rushing towards. There was a time that there was the Ikeja bombing.
Yes.
That happened. You find people running into the canal.
They were running.
They were just following people and then running in that direction. So you find out that people just move sometimes in a particular direction that they are not even clear as to where they are going to. They've not checked their own personality and their own personal ideology if it aligns to where they're going, but they just say, we're going this way and let us just go that way. So you're saying
that they just hinged on the popularity of one
that's
individual,
what
not necessarily the ideal of the party. But didn't you see some members within your political party that made the party that became a third force garner the kind of wave it garnered? They decimated it. I remember Fani Kayode at one point saying, certainly and very affirmatively that before 2027 that party will be extinct. And ever since, after Peter Obi decided, because I noticed, I don't know if you noticed that as well, that he distanced himself after they tried to set up the Nandi Usman peace committee, and we saw that the INEC or the court did not recognize them. He kept his distance, minding his business, doing his thing. He's been acting like an individual, not even carrying the political party, that he was once a presidential flag bearer. Valentino Zigbo told some APC members as he defected. Daniel Bwala came to the media to tell us that Peter Obi will join the APC very soon because of what is going on. They're seeing some permutations. So the thing is this. As the opposition is intensifying moves to form an example, there are concerns that the plan to stop the president may fail because major political actors could disagree on a consensus presidential candidate for the 2027 general election. Now, the thing is this. Will the PDP seeming in disarray? You have a Nyesom Wike who claims he's a PDP member but astutely, forcefully working for the All Progressives Congress. El-Rufai has defected from the APC to the SDP. A couple of political party members have left the SDP to the APC. You're seeing all of this back and forth. The opposition is literally lying low. There's no heat, there's no fire. And the presidency doesn't seem threatened by the opposition. In fact, the president has this disposition of people can rant and talk and do as you like. I've got this. Do you think he's got it? And with what is going on right now is if the president officially comes out to say that he is re-campaigning for 2027, he will certainly win. His supporters are saying Tinubu to 2031.
Well, I mean, the supporters of Jonathan also said the same thing. So they didn't even see his fall coming. They were so high on the horse that they felt that they could never get down. So they would show all of this confidence just to boost their ego. What else do you want the supporters to say? This man is virtually running the country aground, and if the supporters who are benefiting from him are not saying that, we must give this person a second chance, how would they benefit, again, once he leaves the office? But the problem that, that we're facing now is that this man, in person of Tinubu, I personally warned a lot of people that he should not come close to the national power because he's not the kind of person that should be given the kind of power that he's, holding right now.
Nigerians have the same feeling for former President
Muhammadu
Buhari.
Because it is even, yes, I mean, it was obvious too. Did Buhari not fail woefully? Did he not fail? This person is even doing worse than Buhari did. Look at what is happening in Rivers State, for example. It is a complete show of power. President Tinubu is someone who is so drunk by his personal person. He is full completely of himself.
Are they not all the same? It's not just only him.
No. Jonathan was a listening president. I was not a supporter. I was not a supporter of Jonathan, but Jonathan was a listening president. As hard as Buhari was, as a military ruler,
yes.
As a president, Buhari was a listening president.
Are you sure?
Oh yes.
No, he was usually oblivious. He never was on the know what was going on.
Being oblivious meaning he doesn't know.
He doesn't know.
It doesn't mean that he was not. It was misguided. This person, President Tinubu, right? He is self-centered. He is everything about himself. Let me give you an example, right? He was giving a speech at the inauguration. And because he wants to prove what is not, he went on to make a national declaration of subsidy is gone that was not written in his speech. All because I want to be the one to say I remove subsidy. You have not gone into the office to check, how you're going to make the checks and balances of it. You have not checked, what have been paid, what is not being paid. How are we going to cushion the effect of it on the people? You have not done any of this. You went on the podium to announce that subsidy is gone. Do you know what it means for a president to make such an unguided, a reckless statement? He doesn't care about anybody. It just, as long as what he's saying is, whatever is happening in Rivers State now is because he has interest in rivers.
Let me give you an instance. Ever since this administration, there's been a couple of chaotic events.
Absolutely.
For example, we had the first protest, which he experienced during his administration. End bad governance protest. 10 days of rage. There was also another one, I think on October 1, fearless protest. After that one, we saw the embarrassing scenario that occurred in Lagos State. We saw the case with Natasha Akpoti and the National Assembly. We also heard the case of the APC chairman Abdullahi Ganduje court order saying, oh, stop the inquisition on his fraudulent activity while he was a governor. Court order saying no. Others were saying, oh, the court was saying he can no longer continue to be the APC chair. Right now, he is the APC chair, right? We now saw the dramatic situation with Yahaya Bello. In Yahaya Bello's case, the whole back and forth, right? And now the situation with Rivers. All of these instances, Nigerians have been clamoring and calling out and saying it doesn't seem normal. The supposed dictatorial tendency where if you come out to criticize anybody in the administration or whatsoever, the DSS could secretly go to your home and whisk you away to a location that you cannot be found.
Absolutely.
If you're not someone that is well known and somebody brings their attention to social media where other people start clamoring, please, where's this person? Anything could literally happen
you can
to
disappear.
you. So these are the issues. But the president has told us that there's going to be a youth confab where the youth will come and express themselves. But we don't know where the representatives will come from, if there will be more of those supporting his administration. With all of these incidents, I see you tweet most of the time. You have been called all forms of names by those of your ethnic group. But there's this call that you say Yoruba first.
Yeah.
I think there's the Ronus and the Omoluabis or something like
Omoluabi.
that. Yes, exactly. So these Ronus, or I don't know if it's APC Ronus or something. They're always on Space or on X. Anytime you come out to criticize the president, they bring ethnicity to it. The ethnic group that is their target is the Igbos. Everything they turn it to a tribal war of words. And they don't try to see how a nationalistic approach to issues can be resolved. I see how you take them on most times. They've called you, they don't even consider you to be someone who is a correct Yoruba man as you introduced yourself, just because you are not supporting whom they are supporting. So the question is, do you think the Nigerian youth will be able to get themselves out of this deluge? Do you think we're actually ready for the kind of change that we say we want implemented? The voices of reasoning, why have they been silenced by those persons who always bring political, religious, and ethnic sentiments into issues of national discourse?
Well, I mean, it's the best they could be. They can only remain at the tribal, ethnic, religious, political, narrative and gimmicks. That is what they can do, because I mean, they don't have any other thing to talk about. They don't have good governance to compare. I mean, if for example, the APC that they are supporting, have been at the helms of affairs of this country now for about 10 years right now, and then and then for these 10 years, not one sector of the whole nation has been fixed.
Well, they said the Port Harcourt refinery is now functioning.
But Port Harcourt refinery is functioning to what end? Have you heard that Dangote may, stop supplying fuel to Nigeria, and it's going to probably take it to other countries because they've stopped giving him crude oil? Dangote created the refinery here because we believe that we're one of the largest producers of crude oil. Now they've sold our crude oil ahead of time. We are presently producing crude oil for the monies that they've used already to buy private jets, to buy their luxury yachts, to buy different things, to renovate houses for themselves. And we don't have crude oil. So there is a problem ahead in all of this. But coming back to the young people and how we see these things.
Yes.
For me, right, I've always been clear-headed about what governance is all about.
Okay.
Governance, I know very well, is not about ethnic group, is not about religious group, it has nothing to do with it. Religion is a personal thing.
Yes.
It's always a personal thing, right? It is never, because once you put religion or ethnicity into governance, you are deliberately, shortchanging yourself of the dividends of the democracy that you are talking about. But because we have absolutely incompetent government in office, the only thing they can then rely on is to wage on the ethnic division and tribal division, just to at least get a few people who are also that narrow-minded to continue to push this narrative so that they can continue. I mean, they call me different names. I don't care, because I want a better Nigeria. If the Nigeria that we want is working, or we eventually get it, these same people are going to benefit from it.
Exactly.
So why should I bother about them? They've even called me Igbo. They say I am Igbo. I'm not Yoruba.
Anybody who doesn't support this administration is
of course
Igbo.
now, and it's not starting now. It's that has always been the narrative of APC.
Okay.
From get-go. It's because it was actually APC is not meant to grow beyond Lagos and maybe a few southwest states, because that has always been their narrative. So because they know there are other ethnic groups, especially in Lagos and other parts of the southwest, so they kind of bring out that narrative. There was a time Jimmy Agbaje, a true born Lagos man, contested. The APC wore him an Igbo cap. They photoshopped an Igbo cap on him, photoshopped an Igbo cloth on him, and printed this thing in flyers and banners and pasted it all around Lagos, saying that this person is Igbo, don't vote for him. That has always been their narrative. And why do they do that? They know that the tribal narrative, it's something that appeals to especially the people at the lower cadre. So they once they sell it to them, and they of course empower the poverty that they've always been into, they will continue to get the power that they wanted. So the APC has always been like that: sell the tribal narrative, push it at the forefront, and then use it to win election. But unfortunately, we're talking about national politics. It is absolutely dumb of the followers of Tinubu and APC to be pushing tribal narrative.
Because I feel for me, I'm not supposed to give my personal opinion, but I think that if the president is all about rebranding himself and rebranding the political party to seem like an all-inclusive and nationalistic political party, and obviously we want Nigerians to vote for you in 2027, you would have tried to synergize with everyone and call detractors to order who would put in this kind of sentiments. The reason why I'm saying so is I have never witnessed such politically and ethnically divided Nigeria like within this administration. It's so bad. The hate is palpable. I don't know if you understand. And the fear is, let the hate we hear or read or watch on social media not get to the streets of the common man.
Well,
we may think that it's just banter, dirty jokes, but it's not funny for politics, for our polity, for our nationhood. If this continues, this kind of bitterness, you have children who necessarily are not even politically aware, and already you're indoctrinating them into this kind of tribal divide, ethnic sentiments, religious sentiment. It got so bad. I think the other time they were now saying it's all about Yoruba first. They're not going to have the imam or whatever in Sokoto tell them when they will sight the moon and start their fasting and all whatnot. It's become really bad. We would have thought that the rebranding, especially from his ministers, those who are working with the government, is so bad that those working with the government, if you check their official handles, they're all promoting bigotry, promoting sentiments, official handles, working with either the president or the governor, and nobody has called them to question. Nobody has called them.
Tokunbo Wahab, a commissioner under the Lagos state government, went to look for the video of an Igbo woman, an old video of an Igbo woman, right, and posted it as if it was a recent video, claiming that the woman was dumping refuse outside. And now this is at the background of Rayi, right, who is not Igbo, who spoke about the president, and in between this she said, "Oh, Lagos smells." Right, and to defend that, a government official went to look for an Igbo woman's video, an old video of maybe a year or 2 years ago, just to post and say, "Oh, these are the people that are saying Lagos is smelling,"
or that the ones making Lagos.
You see
dirty.
How terrible that can be. How dangerous that can be. Trying to force a wrong narrative on a particular tribe. when this whole thing started, one of the things I kept saying over and over again is that, guys, look, let me tell you something. This rubbish that you're doing, right, started like this in Rwanda, just 1994. 1994 was not a long time ago, right? 1994, we already had internet. So if you think that I'm not talking about Stone Age. I'm not talking about 15th century. This is not even 17th century. This is just 1994. People started this rubbish, and before you knew it, a genocide happened in Rwanda. We have to be very careful. We have to be very, very careful of what we're doing. And you think that, oh, because I'm doing it now, I'm protecting my tribe and doing that. And when it happens, I mean, you can't be protected by the people you are trying to protect. You can't.
Mr. Lawal Kodari, I'm coming to you because you made a prediction which has actually come to the fore concerning Natasha Apoti, and that is where I'll be throwing the question at you. He's here for a reason, because I really need to understand what the opposition is doing. Why we're not hearing their voices beyond Twitter. You know, they just tweet, and we hear that they wrote statements. Now, Mr. Ife, for example, the 2027 is coming close. There are permutations that Peter Obi could join the SDP and that he could join a new coalition. But the Labour Party has disclosed to us through Arabambi. We watched him on Arise Television very recently, telling us that they have decided to work with Peter Obi and that he's going to flout their ticket in 2027. But the Labour Party seems not to have the kind of love and attention that they had in 2023. A lot has happened that people no longer trust that party. Do you think it is safe for Peter Obi to continue with the party for 2027? Do you think there is a huge prospect for him because he hasn't said anything if he's going to run again in 2027? Because I think for him to avoid all of this whole situation, he may just decide to retire and mind his business. But I know you obedience, you people will actually tell him, guy, you cannot sit back, you have to do something. So very recently, Bello El Rufai came out to say Peter Obi is a good man, that he was, deceived by some members of some certain political party.
Of his party, of his APC party. Yes, no. his former party, because I think he has followed his father to SDP.
SDP, yes. So immediately that happened, he made that statement. Do we see a formidable coalition forming very soon with some strong political bar brokers that could have some sense of appeal, that's natural appeal like Peter Obi had in 2023. So what I'm asking is, are you seeing him leaving the Labour Party to be part of a coalition, despite what Arabambi just told us?
Well, see, for Mr. Peter Obi, I can tell you for free that right now, he still said it, in the last interview that I saw him, that he is still in the Labour Party. And not until he comes out to say, oh, no, I am no longer in the Labour Party. I mean, we can only just... say what we think, about it. But in reality, the Labour Party, which of course I'm a member of, I know we need to do more. We need to, find a way to find the spark that was there before, so that we keep the fire burning. And because, one of the reasons, and I was going to mention earlier on, when we talk about, party, let me make this thing clear to you. Elections are not won by party members. Elections are won by mostly the people, and I will explain it to you. See, right now, no matter the party, no matter their structure as it is now, for the people that are really active in any party, even as strong as the APC are, if you're going to check the population of the people, and I'm not talking about just having people who have your card, the card carrying members. No, I'm talking about people who you call for political meeting that would show up for the meeting. If you put it together in any party, they cannot be more than a million people. In any party, even in the APC, put all of those people together. The people who attend political party, the core members of the party. But you see, when it's time for election, right? This, from the campaign, from different sentiments here and there, the people will make the majority of the votes. And for where we have seen Peter Obi coming from, right? I think to some extent he believes in, the wave that he carried in
23.
2023, because it was obvious. Whether it's hard really to change a political mindset of people.
Okay.
It's hard. People have strong political affiliation to different people and sometimes to party, and they hold on to it. Even just like we see Tinubu, doing all of this now. Some people still believe that, oh yeah, he's on the right party, he's doing the right thing. And they believe it genuinely, but it is just because they hold on to that belief. So the kind of followership that Mr. Peter Obi carries, I mean, it's still there, relatively there.
Okay.
It may not be as strong as it is, before, and it may not be applying to the Labour Party as it were now. But of course, it's just a matter of time. No matter what's going to happen, before the end of this year, everybody would know where anybody is going.
Okay.
If you are going to be in the Labour Party, we would all know it would be. If you are going to leave the Labour Party, we will still know, and then we'll know what will happen afterwards. But I mean, I must also say something.
Okay.
It's kind of like it worries me as a person that we had an election.
Yes.
In 2023, a presidential election. And it's not even 2 years yet. It's going to be 2 years, in May, that this new person came to office. And we're already talking about the next election. This only goes to show that we lack everything that has to do with good governance in this country. Because if this present government, if they are performing, nobody now should be talking about the next election. It's annoying for me personally that we sit here right now. I mean, even if you look at it, at every political party, people are leaving. What's his name? El-Rufai left, like you rightly mentioned, left the APC.
And there are talks that Atiku
only
or Shibajo and a couple of persons
only
may join.
El-Rufai, the kind of weight that El-Rufai carries in the APC, right? If you put all the people that have left Labour Party, put them together, they are not even up to the kind of weight that El-Rufai carries in APC.
But El-Rufai has an antecedent that people do not like. People do not trust.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of El-Rufai. I'm just talking, politically. If we're talking about people living from one place to the other, these are the things that will happen. There is a period called open window in the football where you just take
transfer season.
Transfer season is where we are now. People are free to move to wherever they will have to. We should not be talking about 2020s. We should be talking about power. We should be talking about how improved our education has gone in the last 2 years. We should be talking about how security has improved. Mr. President went on to declare a state of emergency in Rivers State. But in Yobe last week, a soldier was filmed, murdered. Yesterday.
We saw that. About three of them.
One happened last week. One soldier was executed. Yesterday, 3 soldiers, Nigerian soldiers,
by ISWAP,
were executed in Yobe. If there's going to be anything called state of emergency,
it should be there.
Where should it happen? Is it the first time that we are having incidents at the oil pipelines? It's not. I mean, there's been pipeline vandalization like forever in this country. And even when it happens, are you not supposed to work with the governor of the state to go after the people, the perpetrators, get them arrested? And you are declaring a state of emergency where people are still going about their businesses, people are still going about their lives. There's no war, there's no chaos, no clash, nothing. You left a place where the Nigerian soldiers are being slaughtered on a daily basis. You left there to say you want to declare. So it is painful that we're here today. Not up to 2 years before the last election. After the last election, we're talking about another election.
That's true.
It is actually heartbroken.
It is unfortunate. Now, Mr. Lawal Okudayo, let me come to you. You made a prediction last week about our judicial arm, because I remember we talking about sensitive sectors seeming to be stifled or being grabbed. And there's a reason that we have such a perception because of the general elections upcoming. Mr. Ife said it's surprising that we're thinking of 2027. That's the next time that we feel we can exercise our rights and put aside their whatever it is the political bureaucrats are infringing on us. For Natasha Akpoti, the court has upheld, all right, that the suspension in the house is considered legal. The suspension was taking place without any court order. They had not heard from the court and she was suspended, despite the fact that the case was presented to the court. But the court has upheld that. Do you think our judicial arm as it stands, under the Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Kekere Ekun, do you think there's going to be a shift in the usual dynamic that seems to prefer to give good judgments to the political bureaucrats and none to the, let's say, the average Nigerian? Just like you have the Mr. Sunday Jackson, whom the Supreme Court judgment came on that instead of him to have run for his life when a Fulani tried to kill him in his farm, he murdered the man. How do you see this situation, this kind of perception with our judicial arm?
Now, thank you for having me. Now, this thing, that's what we have been saying, that in Nigeria, we don't have democracy.
We don't have democracy.
We don't have democracy.
So what are we practicing? Autocracy?
Yes.
Autocracy?
Yes.
Do you know what autocracy is?
What is autocracy?
You cannot even speak like this. So
no, it's not true, because military practice autocracy, and we saw people taking them to court and winning. It's not this bad, even in military time.
Okay.
We saw when Gani won military in court many times. It's not this bad now. Even when it comes out to protest, the military did not take it so bad like this. And we say we have democracy. What's the meaning of democracy? I told people, and I said it many times, that what we are practicing has no definition. Look at the one we are talking about. Look at Natasha. Can this happen in America, where we say presidential system of government originated from? It can never happen. We saw what happened to Clinton now during the Lewinsky case.
Yes, you keep referring to that incident.
Yes, because it was a big incident. Clinton denied it at the initial stage. He came publicly and denied it. But they took up that case against the president. He was sitting and they investigated him while he was sitting. And they came up with all the evidences against him, and the House moved to impeach him. And then he came up and hold on to those things and apologize to the whole world, not American only, that he lied to the world. Is that not the presidential system of government we say we are practicing? And it's totally different from what we have in America. We had the George Floyd case. I can't breathe. Even Nigeria here supported them. In France, when the president of France, that is also, we say we are practicing the same thing they are practicing. You remember when France increased a fuel price, and there was a yellow vest protest all over the world. Even Nigeria joined. George Floyd protest.
Black Lives Matter.
Yes, but Black Lives Matter. I can't breathe. We joined from here. The yellow vest protest, Nigeria joined from here. And the president reversed it. Macron reversed it now.
So why do we not have a situation where
it's a
the
different
people
case,
are
and you are
listening
telling me we are practicing democracy. In democracies, that's why they call it justice. Justice means what is given to you is what is given to the other person. What is given to this person is what is given to this person. Everybody is equal before the law. Do we have equality before the law? Look at the case of Natasha now. Look at the case, the declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State. Do you see justice there? Everybody keeps shouting. The president said the Fubara refused to obey the Supreme Court. And we saw that it was a lie. Because this guy went to the house of the house of their house of reps,
of assembly,
with the budget to represent it as the constitution, as the Supreme Court declared. He was there, and this man was locked out. He was pleading to let him come in and present it and do exactly what the Supreme Court said he should do. and he was locked out, and the whole world saw it, and they keep saying he didn't obey the court, the Supreme Court this thing. Is that fairness? Is that? Now look at Natasha case, and the court, the judiciary is upholding it, where even in the constitution, even the rules and regulation of the house itself says that you cannot suspend more than 14 days. They suspend for 16 days, and the same judiciary is saying okay. The question is, let us look at the law that they derive that suspension from. How can you take my? You can't. I'm a teacher. I tell them that this thing you are doing is coming back to you. Go and look at the past president leaders. Where are they now? Are they still in power? They are not in power. Some people are ruling. That is what's going to happen, and these children will rule it the way you have taught them, and it will be worse than this, because you are teaching them the wrong thing. You are miseducating them. I know what these children say in school. When you teach them when they converse with their friends, you listen to what they say, you see that they have no confidence in Nigeria. That's why every now and then it's two things they say. I'm talking about secondary school students. Two things they say. Two things that is in their minds now. It's either the Japa case or they do yahoo yahoo.
Come closer to the mic.
Are you getting me? These are the two things in their mind. It's either they go into scamming because they're already doing scamming in secondary school, or they japa out of the country. Is that the way to develop a nation?
Now let's look at this. For example, in the aspect of security, we've been having consistent cases of heads terrorists, I don't want to call them headsmen, attack farmlands, threaten the people of the community. But it somehow feels like the state governors are free to come out right and call out. Remember when Dave Umahi came out to say this is what he's suffering, this is what he's going through. Recently, there was a protest in Enugu State where the women actually came out. They didn't want to, the men did not come out, it was the women. They said enough is enough, right? Now we saw in Yobe State the murder of 3 Nigerian soldiers. We know that our military is stretched thin fighting these individuals. Chief of Defense Staff Musa went on international media to tell us that the kind of weapons ISWAP and Boko Haram have is more than possibly the kind of weapons they have as the Nigerian army, and that it's hard currency. They find hard currency on those guys. Now, we're not saying they've not been making some inroads in eradicating this nuisance, all right? But they seem to come on more. So the question is, if the Chief of Defense Staff say they do not need any international assistance, the only assistance they need is proper intelligence, training, armory, weaponry provided for them, but they don't need physical assistance from international communities or from the UK or the US, why do we still have this bedeviling case of insecurity where you have a lot of persons not able to go to their farms, and the security, the Nigerians who want to be part of the Nigerian army, some of them are really afraid to do so. But you can see what just happened. These are young men who were killed on video.
Now, do you know what the American president usually say? He say, if you kill one American, we will get you. That's what they say. In fact, they say it openly.
You like comparing the way Nigeria is with America? Because we have a long way to go in that regard.
It's not about a long way. See, if you are moving, you know you are moving. You know you are covering distance. If you are not moving, you know you are not moving. You get it? If you are backsliding, you know you are backsliding. Nigeria is backsliding. You get what we are not even developing. We are not categorized as developing at all. We are underdeveloping. Do you know the meaning of underdeveloping? That we are backsliding. We are not even going front. Now, 60 years, I told you, if there was a time the Nigerian currency was greater than American currency. Did it happen in the universe? Did it happen in spirit? This still happen in the same Nigeria. Some people made it like that. Some people made it that way. There was a time I heard that Saudi monarchs were coming to UCA Shibado for treatment. Is it not the same Nigeria? There was a time in which Nigerians don't need visa to go to Europe. Have you forgotten that time? Yeah, am I lying? There was a time. So the question is, where did we get it wrong? We are in the educational sector. If a student has issue, he's not doing well in class, he's scoring 0, and you call me as an educationist to come in, the first thing I'll do is to try to understand where the student is having the problem, and they try to reconnect and solve that problem in that area, and the student begin to do well. The question is, where did we get it wrong? Where? And each time we come here to talk about how we can fix this country, some people were saying something like going sentimental, religious sentiment, tribalism. I said it one day. I said, when it comes to Nigeria, what we practice in Nigeria is even worse than racism. It's worse because when you get to America, you see so many people, different people. Igbos are there, Yoruba, Hausa, everybody is, even in Europe. Do they go there and begin to talk about sentiment, racism?
Tribal differences.
They come together as one, and they face the government to get things right. But here, you see us divided. Even during the election, you see people campaigning against different ethnic groups. Are we practicing democracy? No. Do we have democracy? No, we don't.
All right, Mr. Ifesalako, he talked about the devaluation of the Naira. Can you remember the hashtag Ghana must go way back then? This is Ghana. They usually come here to teach. Yes. And Naira was something that was like, you have it equivalent
like
to the dollars to them.
Absolutely.
Do you know now that the Ghanaian cedi is more heavier in terms of weight, right?
Absolutely.
To the Naira.
Absolutely.
Do you know that? That you now have a lot of Nigerians actually going to Ghana, working there, making money to come back here and do business with the Ghanaian cedi.
Yeah, so I think about 10, 15 years ago, Ghana did what is called redominate. They redominalize their currency.
Okay.
So which takes it
so
which takes it about a couple of zeros out, and then but then what Ghana has done afterward is to also build their economy and try to grow it better than we are actually doing, and so it makes the currency to keep going stronger and stronger. Keeps appreciating. He mentioned the time where the Naira was stronger than some other foreign currencies, and you see that was a period. There are different periods in the global economy.
Yes.
There was a time of the agrarian economy, there was the industrialization economy, and then there is the technology now that we're in. So in fact, there's been science and all, but the agrarian period favors us, which was when we were doing a whole lot of pyramids of granite, pyramids of rice, and all of those things, and a whole lot of other countries. I saw a picture recently where we find some Britons who came to Nigeria, and through train they were taking granite and exporting. So apparently when they bring their currency to us, we would have more money in our own reserve, and then it makes our currency way better than theirs. But whilst they were doing this, they are studying our economy, and then they were using it to build theirs. And then what we were doing is we got stuck with our agrarian economy. So when other nations were moving to the industrialized economy, we were still stuck with the agrarian economy. Right, and then we keep telling ourselves, it's so bad, it's so disgusting that you will find out that 2 years ago, just to prove his own ego too, Buhari went to do some fake pyramid of rice in 2022. It doesn't make any sense. Nobody is looking at your pyramids of rice. To even make it worse, it was just construction of wood that they just patched up with some rice, not even the real pyramid of rice. But then we can see that we refuse to grow with the other economies of the world, and that is why we find ourselves where we are today. Unfortunately for us, just to round that up, unfortunately for us, it is not coupled with bad leadership whose major work is to embezzle money. And I can say this for a fact: if the present government of the day, if they tell you that they do a project for 1 billion naira, the value of that project originally could actually be 100 million naira.
Okay, let me ask you this, because we need to start taking reactions and calls and read messages, because I know I have tons of messages already. The opposition, do they have the interests of the people at heart, or they are also all about their selfish interests? In the case of Atiku Abubakar, a lot of persons are saying, Atiku, sit down, you have tried. If you claim you have the mission, all right, to ensure that Nigeria gets better, you have tried and tried and tried, it hasn't worked. Why don't you let other persons who have a different vision, something stronger, something better, and they're younger, run? And it's because some people think that Atiku was one of the reasons that the PDP got to the state that it was. The Labour Party on its own, the leadership of the Labour Party is not trusted at all. It's obvious that the obedient movement are just waiting for wherever it is Peter Obi wants to go to, and they just go ahead with him. How do we know that the opposition is not also self-centered? That's one. Two, are we saying that the president's administration does not have any inkling of people-oriented policies? I mean, for example, like the tax reform, I need to ask. That's two. Then three, where are reasonable young people like you? We don't want to generalize that it's all this the same people in the ethnic group that have this way of thinking, but it seems like they don't want to be part of this noise. They have businesses, they have homes to take care of. But some persons are misrepresenting the culture. Some persons are misrepresenting their ethnic group. So when would they begin to speak out? It almost feels like certain persons have suppressed their voices because they are tagging them to be something else. Just briefly respond to this.
I mean, so taking from the first one, as regards, the opposition and what could happen. So, like I said earlier, we're going to watch and see how it's going to go. But for Atiku, I've done a couple of tweets, and I think I'm still going to do a bit more. If I have the opportunity, I will sit down with Atiku and I will prostrate and beg him not to run for president again. In 2027, Atiku, by God's grace, is going to be 81. Right? Yesterday, I was with my father, who is about 80. He's going to be 83 years. And I could tell, as sound as my father was in the military in this country at some point. He's always been strong. But he will still talk about the policies of Nigeria. But there is no way I would want to advise my father at over 80 to come and contest for the Nigerian president, because he does not even have that, physical and mental capacity to do that anymore. And I see Atiku in that regard. 81-year-old man, you should actually be resting. You are an elder statesman. You have tried for this nation. As a person, you have a university that is, imparting knowledge on people. This is a huge legacy that will live, way after you. You have been the vice president of this nation before. There's been a lot that you can count. Sit back and say, yes, I have tried. The only thing Atiku can do for 2027 is to support a right candidate. And if I may say, just support Peter Obi, because he has been the closest to you. He ran with you at some point in time, and to a large extent is favored by quite a number of Nigerians. There's not been a single president, a single candidate who ran on the platform of a party and get the kind of followership and the kind of votes that,
people, even secondary school students, children were ready to do anything to ensure he won that.
And to be clear, there are some other states that he won, like we know River State, he won River State.
Yes, obviously, it's obvious now.
The people who rigged, it's not even obvious now, it's obvious then. The people who rigged the election for Wike, there are videos of them saying that we were the one who wrote the result for Wike. So Atiku should actually know that by now. Let me just step down, support this Mr. Peter Obi. Let's see how it goes. Give him your idea. By the way, whatever idea Atiku has since 1999, it is obsolete. Things are springing up right now. In this age now, we're seeing a whole lot of things. Who would have thought that a Peter Obi would be on TikTok? Yesterday we saw. So to say that things are moving, people are moving forward. I'm not even active on TikTok.
Me too. I'm not on TikTok. I don't know how to use that.
Do you get?
I will learn.
But in reality, whether we like it or not, things are moving ahead of us. There are some things. I have an 11-year-old son. 11-year-old son. There are some things he can do on the computer now that I can't do. When I'm fiddling with it, he will be the one to say, Daddy, now this is how you do it. 11-year-old boy. You see,
they're the alpha beta age. That's the generation.
You can't just help it. time has moved past you. So just align with the younger generation. Let's see what we can do. So that's about article, right. and quite a number of other people that are the major players. Okay. Let's see how they will do that. Coming to the policies of
the administration,
the present administration. The thing is that when people are campaigning for election, you need to listen to them properly. Check the antecedents, right? Tinubu has always been a taxman. What was the major focal point of his positive campaign? It was IGR. And I wonder why people don't understand what IGR... I mean, for the fact that they even boast about it. Oh, he raised the IGR of Lagos. By the way, there are two ways to look at the IGR of Lagos at the time. It came in 1999, right after the the military departure, with the likes of Obasanjo, and so the military never gave us an account of what they were generating in Lagos.
Okay.
Nobody has access to that. They don't run. They were not running democracy, So you were the first person that will bring this at the time, back to democracy at the time, and then you didn't have choice than to open the papers of the state for the press and everybody to know that this is what we are generating. And then it now became a narrative of he was generating like Lagos was not generating anything before. It just came and then it started generating. No, it doesn't work like that. So in reality, let's even talk about generation of IGR. It is internally generated revenue. No nation in the world. No nation in the world grows and become a powerful nation by just generating internally generated revenue. You have to produce, you have to export, you have to get foreign reserve, you have to. So that is how you grow your economy. This man, Mr. Tinubu, understands only how to generate money internally, not even externally. And internally generated revenue is only making your people poorer, not richer. Your economy doesn't grow with just internally generated revenue. What it means is that you're just taking money from your people for government to spend. That is what it means. So when they brag about this thing, and so that is all what their policies have been about.
All right.
What has he done? Taxing this, taxing that. The only major thing the major reform that they've done is to say, okay, we are doing tax reform. They reduce subsidy. It's not that subsidy is gone. Don't let them deceive you. They are still paying subsidy, but it's not just as much as they were paying before. But unfortunately, the percentage at which they are paying now, the money, the value is even worse than what was being paid before. But that's another. So all he knows is let's take money from within and let government have enough money to spend, and that's what they are doing. They don't have a people-oriented policy. They don't even have a proper economic, roadmap to take us out of this quagmire that we're in. They don't know how to move a nation from one place to the other. All they knew is to just generate internally generated revenue and then squander it.
All right, let's take your calls right now. Austin, please, I need the phone. The number to call is 080-3692-9933. 080-3692-9933. And the WhatsApp number is 0817-1756-338. 0817-1756-338. My name is Esther Machuku, and you have been listening to Ife Salako. Yes, Ife Salako is a Labour Party Lagos spokesperson, as well as Mr. Lawal Ekundaya, a political and social affairs commentator. Thank you, gentlemen, for staying with us this evening. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Good evening.
Hello, can you turn down the volume? Turn down the volume of your radio set, please.
My guardian, you understand what I want to say.
Okay.
And Yoruba, this government, I've mentioned it earlier that they are Aditieja.
What is that?
A dead fish.
They cannot ever listen to their dead already.
Good.
And about this Fulani killing people.
Yes.
Yoruba's race, I regret that I'm a Yoruba man. They are cowards. Yoruba are cowards.
Why?
When I spent 34 years in the north, I know the whole north roundabout. 1/10 of what the Hausa are doing here in the south, we cannot perform it. As those are there, we cannot do it, and we are looking at this thing. Let's call a spade a spade. God will help you. Good
Thank
night.
you very much. Good night. You didn't tell us your name, oh. You didn't tell us your name. Your name is Baba Tope?
From Iju.
From Iju. All right.
Yes.
Thank you, Baba Tope. Thank you for calling, okay? 08036929933. 08036929933. Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. What's your name?
My name is your friend Evangelist.
All right, my friend. How are you this evening, sir?
Fine, thank God.
All right, go ahead.
Actually, I'm just paying attention, listening, trying to get the new information concerning what is happening in River State.
Okay.
Actually, we are not happy because my family based in Port Harcourt.
Yeah.
They say everywhere is dull, nothing is working. You can see. So how can people be able to take care of their needs now? So that is why Mr. Tinubu, according to your guys saying, Mr. Tinubu need to change. What he's doing to Nigeria is just punishing Nigeria. He's punishing Nigeria. Forget that this what they are fighting for. What they are fighting for material things, you can never take it to heaven. Because most of them think that power is everything. Power is not everything. Money is not everything.
Thank
So
you.
the truth that what I want to conclude now is that let them remember.
Hello? Oh, sorry, Thank you for calling, though. I think I get the gist. Hello, good evening. How are you? Good evening, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, Mr. K on the line.
All right, sir. Where are you calling us from, sir?
I'm from Ayetoro State.
All right, sir. Please go ahead.
Number one, this thing that happened in River State has been planned. They never knew that Fabara will obey the Supreme Court judgment. Because what Supreme Court said is simple. Even a layman, I did not finish secondary school, but I understand what it said. Go and conduct another local government election. Represent the budget. And the man said, I'm willing to do all these things. House of Assembly begin to run up and down. What does it take Tinubu to say, hey, Mr. Man, order, call the order? Obey what Supreme Court said. You see, I don't know why we are like this. Tinubu said that he has told himself to go and obey Supreme Court judgment. Is the man not obeying the Supreme Court judgment? How can our president say that Mubarak, that there was a pipe war, whatever that blew, that Mubarak is Mubarak believe joint task force that monitor the pipeline? Is he police? Is he army? How can you say because of one thing? Even let me tell you, that pipeline that busted, if it gets well, it's we get people did it. They never believe that. They never believe because I didn't think they Mubarak present the budget now. What's the rest? Tomorrow you go to court. Let us see what Supreme Court will say again.
Thank you
because
very much.
Like you send somebody a message and the person go ask otherwise.
Thank you.
That's it.
Thank you. 08036929933. 08036929933. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello?
Yes, good evening. What's your name, sir?
Hello?
I can hear you, sir. Go ahead. What's your name?
Yeah, good evening. This is Ojo on the line.
Ojo, good evening, sir. Where are you
Yes,
calling
ma'am.
us from, sir?
I'm calling you from Abuja.
Ojo, wow. Thank you very much. How is Abuja this evening?
Abuja is cool and calm.
Thank you very much. Please go ahead.
Tinubu is giving us a bad name as a Yoruba nation.
Chai.
You see, when you have a leader who thinks power is gotten by his own power, it's a shame. Power is given by the Lord. We can sleep today and not wake up tomorrow.
That's true.
Tinubu should know that he does not even deserve to be a president. But for the fact that God wants to show him mercy, he became a president of Nigeria. If God said, Tinubu, I will only give you one term as a president of Nigeria, I think that is enough for any family in Nigeria to give you an offer to be a president of Nigeria for one time. If I don't need one time, give me for 1 year, I'm satisfied. If that is the will of God for me. For the fact that my name is already there as a president. You should ask President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, what is he looking for? Is it more than this power? Is it more than this power? That you throw the entire nation into money mode. That is where the resources of this country comes from, Rivers State.
Telling you.
And nobody can deny that fact. As you speak today, this thing going on in River is affecting every part of Nigeria as you speak now.
I'm telling you.
They have killed 5 people in Akure. Their dead bodies at the front gate of the governor of Akure.
Yes. Yeah, I read
Who
that.
has not declared state of emergency for dead bodies there. They have been killing people in Benue State. Oh my God. Tinubu has never declared state of emergency there. What is the problem with this politician? Power is not gotten by force. Akume started his own with the Father Ahumba in Benue State. He started making demands. What is the problem with these people? Can they fear God for once? Wike has spent 2 time as a governor of River State. You still want to be ruling the entire state as a man, such a wealthy state, as a people, you as a single man, you want to dictate what happened to people that are older than your father, that has everything more than you, because God gives you opportunity to become a God. Wike, Jonathan's wife, and Jonathan today they are not friends anymore; they are enemy of Wike. Amechi that made him minister in River State today is an enemy of Wike. When Wike and Amechi started the same fight, it was the President Buhari that refused to play partisan politics with Amechi. If not, Rivers will have been on fire. Wike stopped Amechi from entering that state. If Buhari has intervened and used federal might, Wike will have also been suspended like the way Tinubu is doing today. But we thank President Buhari. That was a man they call a dictator. Buhari was a Democrat. Tinubu is the dictator.
Are you for real? You're saying this now?
Let them be listening now.
Okay.
Tinubu is the dictatorship.
Wow.
Buhari is the Democrat.
All right,
thank you.
You don't do. It's okay. You don't take time. Thank you very much. We need to take more calls. I beg. Yeah, you really taking time. The president said he fought for democracy. The president is a Democrat. We need to push that. He's a Democrat. All right. He's not dictatorial. He's a legally constituted president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So he is a Democrat. Hello. Good evening. How are you, sir?
Hello, good evening, Sister.
How are you, sir? How are you today?
I'm good. This is Gozier calling from Okota.
All right, sir. Please go ahead.
I will not call them and I will not, but I can only let you people know that you see greedy man. Later, Nigerians will know that Abacha root is just a little peanut. You people should cool down. Thank you.
Chai. Thank you very much. Okay, interesting today. Good evening. How are you, sir? Good evening. Good evening. How are you? Hello?
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you? What's your name?
This is Babatunde from Ikoton.
Hello?
Hello, are you hearing me?
You sound faint. You said what? What's your name, sir?
I said this is Babatunde from Ikoton.
All right, Babatunde from Ikoton. All right, go ahead, sir, please.
All right. My appreciation goes to you people in the studio there.
Thank you very much, sir.
For what you are discussing. Right. This is an issue of entire nation.
Yes.
And the way things is going now, you can discover that Nigerian has been captured by a very few set of people. Right. When this man was campaigning, this our brother, when he was campaigning towards 2027, he made a very better statement. And the statement is that he said, grab
it, snatch it, and run away with it. And power is not served a la carte.
I run away with it. And that is policy. Right? You can see what is happening now. Right? You can see what is happening. Now everything left with people to decide what and what they need to do by 2027. Right? They were planning. Very soon now, you see some certain traditional rulers, religious rulers, they will begin to take sides. To say, let us allow this man to do the second time. It's because it's our fellow, it's our brother, and this. Then I don't know what of the benefits that one has given to me, being a Yoruba person, or be my brother, that have subject virtually everybody into this untold hardship. Right? What I can say the more is that we have to advise our people.
Okay.
Anyone that know one or two that thing about information that can set us free. Let us begin to educate our people the more.
Okay.
In our process, in our places of work, in anywhere we think we find ourselves, to educate people. The reason why they needed a good leader, right? That a time is coming that they will bring a rice, they will bring Indomie and everything to deceive them, right? So we needed to educate our people the more.
Okay.
That 2027, it is going to be a year of no grief for anybody.
Okay. All right.
Whatever is going to happen. Because we can see what they play out in 2027, where they said some people should not vote because of one thing. And people fight for it. This time around, right? People have to take their stand.
All right.
Or else this same status quo will continue again.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you. Hello. Good evening. How are you, sir?
Yeah. Good evening, Mr.
Good evening, sir. You sound somehow. Are you driving?
Yeah, my side, but they said, there's fiesta here. There's a feast here.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Machugu, I greet my brother.
Okay.
Lawal Egundayo.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
And the other,
Mr. Ife Salako, yes.
Yeah, because this kind of people, you call honorable people, not horrible. The one you see the people in the house, you say honorable. Those ones are horrible. Those ones just preserve as horrible.
Sir?
You said something concerning, you went so far because you just from Nigeria, you crossed Cotonou before this Togo, before you get to Ghana. You went far by saying that Nigerians are going to Ghana to for greener pasture.
Yes.
You look at even Niger is deporting Nigeria now. Is that not shameful? This is very shameful. Niger is deporting Nigeria now because of what these people have put us through. The APC government. You see that this thing? And my brother Lawal asked Conte, said, how do we get here? How do you get here? What is happening now? What is happening now? I just went to this thing to know the difference between Nigeria and Spain here. They are considering this thing. I found out that even before you send for this state of emergency, you go through the house. They will just decide on if they will do it or not. But this man just take the law into his hand, and they still remain there. They did not have him implemented notice.
He said he consulted. Consulted the National Assembly, the Chief of Defense Staff. The President said he consulted all the relevant persons that ought to be consulted.
Did they sit?
They were in a security meeting.
Forget about what they're saying.
In Asoro.
Did they sit? Did they see these people come for emergency meeting?
There was a meeting before he made that announcement yesterday.
They just threw call. I don't know why you believe in. You are believing.
No, I'm telling you now.
Now look at this. Okay,
the National Assembly. Okay. They sat today and they did not come to a conclusion.
Okay, for example, these people now, Tinubu is the other one now to just order even the military or anything. This thing. But look at the killing everywhere. Look at if it is here in Europe, the president will just resign. They will protest until he resigns. For not protecting his people, but nobody was. That is why my brother Lawas was asking, how do we get here? It's what is happening now. If you don't stop it, it will still the time we will not even escape it.
All right.
Sudan, like Nandi said before, Somalia will be better than Nigeria if you don't take time. If you don't just say no.
090. All right, thank you very much. Okay. Hello, good evening. How are you? Welcome to the Evening Rush. What's your name? Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. What's your name, sir?
My name is Chid. I'm calling from Mexico.
All right, sir. Please go ahead.
I want to ask you a question. this government we are running, is it democratic? Is it the democracy at all? The system is bastardized. So the only thing left right is Tinubu should go and take over the country and put it in a state of emergency. We should know that yes, this is what is happening.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. Okay.
Look at what will happen. Look at what will happen if I said this of Tinubu to call Wike in order. He left Wike because of the half selfish interest based on 2027 election. Is that good? Is that good? But what I want to promise him is that history will judge everybody, whether good or bad. History must judge everybody.
Okay. Thank you very much.
But I promised him, if God decides that 2027 he will not grab it, he will not.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Look at the type of mess he has put everybody. So I don't talk everybody, but I want to promise him that history must judge everybody, whether good or bad.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let me take some comments on YouTube. Samuel Smiles. Wike should remember there is a law called karma. Busy Brain. Wike should remember that nothing lasts forever. Samuel Smiles. Esther, kindly read messages from YouTube as well. We follow your program from this side too. Thank you very much. Chinazo Eze, my greeting goes to VOP, my station of the year, and Mr. Lawal Kundayo, my man of the year, the man who loves speaking the truth irrespective of whose ox is God. Mr. Lawal is a detribalized Nigerian. Denison Chukwuka, Esther, I love your look. Thank you very much. Columbus Inuwanu, your guest is just grandstanding, churning out garbage. Wow. Because your candidate lost, Mr. Ifesalako. They say because Mr. Obi lost, that's why that you're speaking like this. All right. To Niger, President Tinubu not only made subsidy removal announcement without notice, he also floated the naira with the CBN with the CBN head being appointed. Ade Phillips, Wike received deadline to leave the cabinet. I will believe it when it happens. Well, it's concerning the PDP. They're giving him a deadline to actually leave, and obviously the Ijaw Youth Council, because he called them a minority, they're actually giving him a deadline as well. To Niger, President Tinubu sabotaged the country's economy by floating the currency. Floating naira meant return of subsidy that cost Nigeria $7 billion last September when Dangote refinery came on. Ade Phillips, Esther, thank you very much, Ade Phillips. Fisayo Majokodumi, that is the legacy of their godfather. Lagos play Amala and ethnicity politics. Chinazo Eze, the Labour Party man in the station, may God bless you for your unbiased analysis. Sir, I want to tell you that Nigerians love you in view of your straightforwardness, and the truth you speak shall set you free. Ademola Owodumi, divide Nigeria before it divides us all. Okay, thank you very much. Femi Olu, you keep shutting one tribe up while you empower the other tribe to talk anyhow against Yoruba tribe. All right, Yorubas are welcoming and warm. They are pushing us beyond limits. Yes, nobody spoke down on the Yoruba tribe. You saw Mr. Ifesalako come in here, and he was proud to identify himself as a well-grounded Yoruba man. Yoruba is a very, very interesting tribe, to be honest with you. And nobody is disparaging it, okay? We are talking about the supporters of the administration using tribe, using culture to divide, to cause more ethnic differences. We're not generalizing. Nobody generalized all of them in that same category. All right. Pierre Oga, it is true. Oh, Pierre, not be me and you go read this one. Ugochukwu Ikechukwu, my brother, God will bless you. I must tell you, I never knew that we have this kind of person like you in Lagos. Thank you very much. A lot of messages. I think I will take a few. Nigeria is a republic of autocracy and Babasokpe crazy. That is Udeze Chima. All right. Femilu says Fubara was also rigged to government with help of Wike. What justice do you now want for Fubara, who is illegal in power? Christopher Omunali, Wike should be sacked immediately from the FCT. Let him go and dance the music he put. Uche Gini, Nigerian interest is not backed by the constitution. I pity you lot. Obasanjo did same in the past. Tinubu is repeating, when you are on the receiving end tomorrow, don't cry. Salome first, Yarodwa is turning right now. All his hard-earned work going down the drain. All right, I think I've been able to take enough of some messages on YouTube. Hello. Good evening. How are you, sir?
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
How are you today?
I am fine, sir. What's your name, sir?
My name is Mayo. I'm calling from First Track.
All right, Mayo, please go ahead.
Well, greetings to your guests in the studio.
All right.
Good evening, sir.
Concerning what is happening in the River State, it's so unfortunate that we are in this mess. Actually, people who were asking before now, what you are practicing is not democracy, actually. You can call it civilian dictatorship or basketball crazy, like other people are saying. It's so shameful because the president grabbed Snatch Anana. That is why he's behaving this. And this thing he did in River State is a clear invitation to anarchy. Because I knew, all of us knew, that in 2026, during Obasanjo's second tenure, Obasanjo, who happened to be a
2026 or 2006?
Yes, when militancy was at the peak in Niger Delta, Obasanjo couldn't control it. As a general, he couldn't. And we knew what the country lost. Tinubu was already a governor then. He knew all those things. And he didn't remember. Because of one person's wicked interest, he has plunged the country in a very big mess, even messier than what we are passing through. Well, in our dialogue, they said when a child, what is it called, messes with his thing, you wake him up. If he's sleeping, wake him up to perceive the mess. So let him wait. But for me, and other Nigerians, he has just put his name in the wrong side of history because we're talking about being the worst president. This one is even, in fact, the day goes by, he's getting more bad image for himself. But Nigerians should get up and wait for 2027.
Thank you.
Carrying everything, everything, so that anybody who wants to snatch and grab will link the person with the ballot box and the IRF machine.
We're hoping that will not be the case this time around. Let me take another message. Good evening, Esther. The state of emergency rule in Rivers State shows that President Tinubu has lost it and can now be seen as incapacitated to rule the nation. It's unfortunate that we have found ourselves in a situation of no return that needs only miracle to revert. Playing ostrich on areas that needs urgent attention for state of emergency and focusing on Rivers State just to satisfy Wike is a total shame. What happened in Rivers State is nothing but shameful and unfortunate. A blessed night to you, Esther. Wow. Esther and your guests in the house, good evening. To God be the glory, we are alive. Rivers State state of emergency was a smart move by all anti-democracy in Rivers crisis. The opposition has seen they can't cross the hurdles of the state chief judge. If not, they would have waited since they advised Fubara to obey the Supreme Court. The script has already has almost failed. The state of emergency rule was the last option left. With the rush, I doubt if President Bola Tinubu is not being blackmailed or manipulated. Chris from Ikoto. Good evening, VOP. We're sure you know Babatunde from Ikeja GRA. All right. Thank you very much, Babatunde. Good evening, Esther and the guests in the studio. Esther, are you surprised about the court ruling against Senator Natasha? To me, Mayor, I'm not surprised because I know what APC, especially the government of Bola Tinubu, stands for. When the process that brought them is not credible, how can the country move forward when only one man pocketed the entire country in his pocket? What is happening today, or if you like, call it illegality, never happened during a military regime. Can you all see today that the man that many are calling a Democrat is the same, destroying the so-called democracy? No man can convince me that civilian regime is better than the military. No. The military is far, far better than civilian government. But a lot of persons say President Tinubu actually is strong and he has the spine, for opposition. A couple of other leaders may have been cowed, but he's showing that political will, strength, and sagacity with his ability to withstand anything. He doesn't. Whatever it is he needs to do, he'll do it.
Can I say something?
Say it, sir.
There's a difference between a politician and a leader.
Okay.
You get it? There's a big difference. People don't know. If a politician gets into power, he's going to be playing politics. You get it? If a leader gets into power, he will lead you. That's the two difference. Okay. You get it? It's like in the house, you can play politics with some children. You love some, you dislike some, and then you play around it. But if you are a good parent, you get all of them will love you. Okay. And you love them. That is the difference. In Nigeria here, we always have politicians as leaders. So when they get there, they begin to play politics because politics has to do with controlling the minds of the majority. That's what politics is about purely. While a leader is to make sure that the followers are following. Okay. That's the difference. So a leader will come and convince the followers, give them what they want so that they can follow him at the back. But a politician will be using your head, telling you there is nothing, whereas he has packed everything somewhere and is giving you bit by bit. You know, when you have a chicken and you want to catch the chicken, you don't need to chase the chicken. Just put corn. You get it? Starve the chicken for some time, then put corn one by one. Get the chicken and you kill it. That's what we are now.
Hello, good evening. How are you, sir? Good evening, sir. Hello? Good evening. Can you speak louder, please?
Hello.
Yes, hello, sir. Good evening. Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah. My name is Orisha.
All right, sir. Where are you calling us from?
Yeah, I'm in the road. I drive trailer. I'm in the road.
All right.
Lagos Road.
All right, sir. Please go ahead.
Okay. Now, me, I'll be for Delta State when you speak PG because my PG the bomber.
Okay, I beg, go ahead. I understand you. I understand your pigeon.
Hello. People not really understand. Wait. Hello.
I didn't hear you, Oga. May you go ahead. I said I don't understand your pigeon.
Okay, I say people not really understand fire. Where we say you won't come up for ground. Where we say, oh sure, not go feel fire. You see, people, number one, I blame Niger Delta governor. I blame all. This past Niger Delta governor. Wait, then I blame
for Rivers, not be Niger Delta. Rivers. Okay.
Niger Delta governor, Delta State.
Okay,
Delta State,
okay.
Edo State, Akwa Ibom State, Cross River State,
okay.
Bayelsa State. I blame all. 2006, one Obasanjo come Delta State. We call Warri Stadium. And one thing he said, Ibori, he say he want to take the oil for Delta State. Now Ibori reply and want to say, this one at Delta State, now they control. The oil we want to take for Delta State, he not go see her. I make Obasanjo and Ibori get problems today. You see, Wike, the fool here for fire, where we say, it go consume everybody, it go affect the full Niger Delta. And where it affect Niger Delta, it go affect the southeast. And where it affect the southeast, it go to the southwest. And where it the southwest, the whole Nigeria go sick. Yes, Tinubu they play with. I don't know what I want to. President, you cannot declare state of emergency.
No, he can declare a state of emergency. He has a constitutional right to declare a state of emergency.
Let me go with English. There are categories you can declare a state of emergency. Number one, where the state is being terrorized by terrorism. 1. 2, where there is a local fraction. There is a local fraction means it's a local community fight, like tribal by tribal.
Yes. Like what happened in Plateau State, yes.
This is not nothing. There is nothing like that. This is just a political son and a political godfather. This will not be the first time where it happen now. Ibori and Okuwa get her. Ibori and Odwaga get her. Obaseki and Oshomole get her. Akpabio will be Senate president. Here Vito Ata, they get her. Who would say Wike get her with Amechi? You understand? This also go on for the Niger Delta and all the Niger Delta elder come one party on the other and they settle the matter. But Wike, in the 15 Niger Delta, yes, I've been Wike fans before. But because of this way that they go on, see, I the for Wike. Because anything will happen, it will affect me as a Delta person, it will affect Edo person, and it will affect the whole Nigeria. It's just people to bust pipeline. It's very easy. That is just the honest truth. They are the parity of the river.
All right.
Other people like it or not. They are the parity of the river. They know the whole river more than the Nigerian Navy, the Nigerian Army. So it's just one thing that they will bust in that pipeline. The whole country will see. Just one simple thing. You understand? I think let me end my talk here. God bless everybody.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, Tantita is actually in charge of the transnational pipeline. So I think the government has been able to strategically engage those previous militants. They are in charge of some of these sophisticated pipelines right now. Their security is in charge of it. And let's hope that we do not get any more pipeline vandalism going on there. You wanted to say something?
Yes. I'm surprised with the man. You see? Because he's speaking broken. And look at the way he's making quotations about
it
the
makes
law.
Sense. I did love the pigeon.
I to wonder. See, Nigerians are now, that's why I say we are having a new Nigeria.
Yes,
the Nigeria of old, in which you think it's only professor that it's changing seriously.
It's changing.
You can see the way the man is quoting and going to history.
I'm telling you, the guy makes sense. The pigeon is sweet, like Kizike's Lamba.
We are not conscious of what we have. you can see that the BBC, they have a pidgin,
yes,
a major pidgin.
Yes.
So because they understand that this, whether you like it or not, pidgin is already part of us. That you speak pidgin does not mean, it doesn't even justify your level of intelligence or exposure anymore.
Yes, it's true.
There was a time that it was like that, but it's gone past that stage.
No, it's gone past now.
There are pidgin speaking stations,
yes,
radio stations,
very
TV
well,
station,
very well.
You know, so I mean, of course, I'm not surprised that there are people like that. I was going to say that. By the way, pidgin should actually be our second official language.
Wow.
It should
and
actually.
I forgot the man drives trailer.
You can imagine.
He's a driver now, driving trailer. When you see some people driving trailer,
hello,
you need to insult them.
Hello, good evening. Hello? Good evening, sir.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Yeah, just calling from Aja.
All right, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah, you see, now I want to draw one of our visitors.
Okay.
I mean, to the statement of the Mr. President during that broadcast, that initial period of 6 months. Initial, I want them to explain that initial. If that 6 months does not achieve what they want,
then what next?
Going to be prolonged.
Okay.
That is number one. Then number two is the opposition. Like one of your guests has already pointed out that leaders are different from
politicians. Yeah.
You can't even be a leader without being a politician. And that's number one. Then
that's number two. That's number two. This is number three.
The number two is that the people that are parading themselves as opposition now, I can't see any head from what they are bringing out.
Okay.
The PDP is a problem. Look at even all the statements that Atiku is turning out. I want to be tempted even to believe that Atiku himself is working directly for, the APC. And when we go to this new SDP, the man that they went to mediate, that Mr. Adewale, or what they call himself, he said that they have come to meet him. I know when they want to do their primaries, choose the presidential candidate. Whether I pray that the fight will not come, that we give this ruler, this politician that has been marauding all of us, another headway like we lost it during 2023 due to him fighting between Obi and Atiku. If they can match themselves that time, their votes will have superseded this man's vote. And that is where we are today now.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, I think that same ticket was flouted in 2019, right? Ife, Atiku and Obi, it didn't work then.
So, I mean, so it's the same issue as 2019 because what happened then was Buhari had already gained the momentum, and people were still distracted with Buhari's policy because the same narrative that Buhari used is what Tinubu is using now. When Buhari came in and started destroying everything, he was telling them that no, when you want to build a house, you scatter it first and then you arrange it. So people were still buying into that narrative of by the second term, things are going to get better. So Atiku didn't have much of a chance, to really get the thing. But it was clear, towards the end of the second term that this man is not going anywhere. He's going backward, But unfortunately, we are here with a worse version of Buhari, and I just hope that in 2027 we're able to get it right, because for me right now, I am for anything. Anything that will remove Tinubu and APC from the office. I'm
so you don't believe that all this, he's promised us that his reforms would take shape?
No, because I just told you that's the same narrative Buhari used. In 2026 now, he's going to come and start telling people that, all the things that we have done in the first time, second time that you are going to start benefiting it, don't worry, you will not enjoy it now. It's all lies. It's the same format. It cannot work. It's not going anywhere. I mean, there are presidents that came to power. An example of the president of Argentina,
yes,
who is pulling the country out of inflation. Every day we see it. There are other people who have been have taken over the leadership of their country, and they are doing better. The figures you can see, inflation is dropping, the prices of things is getting cheaper in their country. Some of them are even still paying subsidy, and this thing is still working in their country. It is we that we must suffer for politicians to enjoy, and some people think this thing is normal. It is dead brain ideology. Somebody said this Raya girl that trended a few days ago. She was doing a follow-up video, and then she said something which I find to be quite funny, but thinking about it deeply. She said, "You people are just cursing me, insulting me. You don't know. You lack protein." No. See, it may sound funny, but think about it.
You lack protein.
Protein is actually expensive.
Very expensive.
Generally, protein is expensive.
One egg.
And the
list
brain,
of it
and
needs
the brain
protein.
Needs protein.
Yeah.
To function.
She's a smart
and
lady.
A lot of people that are living from bread to yam, to
rice.
I drank Gary this afternoon.
And cassava.
And cold water.
And you want to start arguing with these people. They don't have protein.
At least the groundnut is protein.
They lack the capacity to think. You get so that and that's where the problem is coming from. But they would just keep riding on this same narrative of, oh, don't worry, suffer for now, enjoy tomorrow, boys.
It will get better. All right, let me take some messages. Good evening, Esther and the fine gentleman in the studio. First of all, let me commend your guest, especially the Lagos State Labour Party spokesman, for his insightful thoughts on the issues raised this evening. As a Rivers man who is even from the same community with Wike, I want to dwell on the case of Tinubu's undemocratic action in Rivers State. Simply put, Wike has had his way. It's unfortunate that one man's ambition has prevailed in a nation that prides herself as a democratic nation. I can tell you people, and this is exactly what Tinubu and Wike were targeting ab initio, using the instrumentality of the Supreme Court. It is simply an indirect ploy for Wike to be getting the share of the federal allocation to the state that he expected from Governor Sim through his arrangement of state of emergency. Where we need state of emergency is on the hunger, massive corruption, division and terrorism that APC government has unleashed on its citizens, and not Rivers State. Comrade Godfrey from Surulere.
So you see, where you would know that this whole thing is just a bad script that was written, right? So they refused to give Fubara federal allocation, saying that it did not present the budget, to the House of Assembly. But now they are planning to release the same
to the sole administrator.
To a sole administrator who has no House of Assembly. Who has somebody you're saying somebody did not present because of this reason. You are depriving me. Now you appoint someone who has no House of Assembly to present to, who has nobody to checkmate him, but you want to release all this money to one person. It just doesn't make sense.
And I want to come in. Let me say something, because I was thinking about this thing over and over again. Now, the president, like the former caller said, the president said initial of 6 months. Let me say everything resolved, and they come back. Now you have released the allocation to the administrator. You get it? And Fubara now represent the budget to the House 6 months after. And the House has now approved it. Now, which budget are you going to give again? When you are already giving it to the administrator?
The kind of...
I mean, are you getting that logic?
I'm getting your sense of
the reasoning. Kind of embezzlement that is going to happen in River State
in the next 6 months.
In the next 6 months, it's not going to be
a massive
funny.
One.
It's serious. It's going to be seriously, because the money is going to be squandered. There's no budget. There's nobody to checkmate anybody.
There's no preparation of budget. They don't follow any spending.
So monies will just be coming out, going, no accountability, nothing.
The president said that the administrator has the prerogative to make some regulations.
But he has come out to say he just wants to maintain law and order in Rivers State.
Who say that?
The general.
No, I'm talking about the president. Between the general and between the general and the president, who is giving who orders? Is it not the president? The president said you can make some regulations, you get it, and then go ahead with it. That means he's telling you that you can decide the way you want to spend that money or what you want to rule that on, and go ahead and rule it that way.
Kudos, good evening. Welcome.
All right, good evening, everyone.
How are you?
I'm very, very fine today.
To calm our temperature, let's listen to Kudos. He has very interesting information for us.
So, okay, I'm here again. My name is Victor, and I'm here to talk about property investment. I know Nigeria is very hot at the moment. I just want us to cool our mind and also remember that there are some certain things that we can use to secure our future, and that is what I'm trying to bring to us this evening. That is property investment. So I'm going to be mentioning the different areas where we have our properties, and they are very affordable, so that you can start thinking of the one that you can secure for yourself. Now, let me talk about our properties in Lagos State. In Lagos, we have the Kudos City. Kudos City is located in Agbowa Ikorodu. Agbowa Ikorodu, and it's currently going for just 1.5 million naira per plot. So with 1.5 million naira, you're going to get a plot of land in Kudos City, Agbowa Ikorodu. And we also have the Kudos Heritage Phase 1, which is located in Omuketu-Ekpe. And in Omuketu-Ekpe, Kudos Heritage Phase 1 is located there, and it's currently going for just 3.5 million naira per plot. We also have the Kudos Heritage Phase 2, which is also located in Omuketu-Ekpe, and it's going for just 2.5 million naira per plot. Now, all of these estates are perfectly dry land. We don't have any swampy land, and you will not have anything like Omonile Wahala, or they will ask you to bring Owo Foundation and any of those things, or any disturbance from the government. And also in Omuketu-Ekpe, we also have the Kudos Heights, which is going for 4.5 million naira per plot. Now, before I continue, let me quickly call the phone numbers for you to start calling us today. Now, the number to call is 0905 904 7514. 0905 904 7514. Now let's go to Delta State. Now in Delta State, we have the Fairview Estate Phase 2, which is located in Ibuzo main town, and is going for just 2.5 million naira per plot. Now Fairview Estate Phase 2 is very close to the Asaba International Airport, and is also close to the first and second Niger Bridge. And we also have Kudos Heights, which is also located in Ibuzo main town, and is going for just 1.5 million naira per plot. And we have the Kudos Courts, which is also located in Ibuzo, and is also going for 4.5 million naira per plot. So all of these estates are in Ibuzo because of the major development that is going towards that direction. Now, all of these estates, they are close to the Asaba International Airport, and they are also close to the first and second Niger Bridge. So the number again to call is 0905 904 7514. 0905 904 7514. Now let's go to Enugu, where we have the Fairview Estate Phase 1, which is located in Odobudo in Nike, and it's going for just 1.5 million naira per plot. And this estate is also close to the Akani Biam International Airport, which is the Enugu International Airport. And we also have the what? We also have the Fairview Estate Phase 2, located in Amokwe Nike, and it's going for just 2.5 million naira per plot. Now the plot size here in Lagos is 500 square meters, and in Enugu and Asaba is 450 square meters. But all of this land are perfectly dry land. And the phone number to call again is 0905 904 7514. 0905 904 7514. Our inspection days here in Lagos is every Thursdays and Saturday. Like tomorrow, we'll be going for inspection here in Lagos, and on Saturday we are also going for inspection.
How early?
We leave our office by 8 a.m. and we have different pickup locations where we can pick up our clients. We have several pickup locations. We look for the locations that are close to our clients, and we pick them up from there. And our office here in Lagos is located at 171 Egbeda Idimu Road, Abule Udu bus stop. And our website is www.kudoshomesLimited.com. You can catch us on social media platform at Kudos Homes Limited on Instagram and on Facebook. Now the number again to call is 0905 904 7514. 0905 904 7514. So start calling us today to own your own piece of land, so that you can become a proud landowner.
Thank you so much, Prudence. We sincerely do appreciate all of this tantalizing packages you bring to us once or twice in a week. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have yourself a good evening. All right, Mr. Ife Salako, thank you so much for taking your time to be here. Mr. Lawal Ekundayo.
Thank you.
What's your fight? Before I go, let me read what somebody said to you. Good evening. Indeed, you have rationally deep thinkers devoid of intellectual self-gratification dissecting issues as it truly affects the core fabric of the growth of Nigeria. Gentlemen, you are indeed provoking a paradigm shift geared towards beyond ethnic religious bigotry. Keep up the advocacy. VOP, you guys are true definition of voice of the people. Brian, thank you very much, Brian.
Well,
Mr. Ife Salako, somebody asked me to ask you this question. So, if Peter Obi leaves the Labour Party, are you leaving too?
Hey, you people want to put me on spot.
That's what this I should ask you. That if Peter Obi leaves Labour Party, now are you going to leave too?
Well, time will tell.
You're just coding. You've been saying time will tell since. All right. Somebody now asks, how would you, as Labour Party and any other formidable opposition, how are you guys going to do something? Because they said that this administration cannot continue unless it's going to be a different candidate they will float in 20.
No. See, the reality of it is that right now, I can tell you for what I know for certain is that in 2027, irrespective of whatever party or it is, I am saying this now, even as a Labour Party member, I'm going to campaign heavily, invest, support, bribe thugs.
Don't you cannot do it all.
Listen,
hey!
I did not say they should go and kill anybody or beat anybody. I said I will bribe thugs
to do what?
To defend our votes.
Okay.
You see, because you see, and I'm saying it, I'll do everything I can in my capacity, everything positive, right, in my capacity to protect and to support Mr. Peter Obi.
What if the president, what if some of the things he's putting in place begin to yield results by next year?
Where
we need to balance.
Okay.
Let's
you that you ask the question. Which one?
No, we're talking now.
Have you taken a political? Have you taken an appointment with the president?
No. Now we need to be balanced. We need to be balanced. So it doesn't seem as if we're taking
let me tell you something.
Again,
we need to represent.
Look how many crises we have on ground now. Even the river state is another big crisis that just came on board.
Again,
we need to be balanced now. We need to be balanced before they was because you're being partisan, you're being biased, you're being whatever.
Yoruba man. Yoruba says that ati alamisi lati mojimo loyin. You understand? Now from Thursday, now there you go take know whether Friday go sweet or not. 2 years down the line, nothing to show. We have gone backward, way backward than we were even before this man came to power. And let me tell you for a fact, no nation fixes. You see, one thing that you must not destroy as a leader of a nation is your currency.
Okay.
Right? The United States of America that everybody cites now, they are battling to even protect the dollar right now. And some people are happy that our naira is being devalued by the day to the point that common, and I repeat, common Benin Republic currency, common Cameroon's currency is now better than ours. And you think that can be fixed in 2 years? I'm not trying to be a prophet of doom here, but you see, even if you're going to fix it in 2 years, right? You by now we would have seen the steps that are being taken in the right direction. This same party, these same people that are still flying all over the world, just not concerned if anybody is stealing or anybody is embezzling, and you think that that's the kind of people that would want to make things work in the next 2 years, it cannot work. A huge number of people are benefiting from the corrupt system of this government,
and they would
do everything possible, right, to protect it, to continue to benefit from it, to salvage our nation from them. We are the ones that would walk extra miles, right, to make sure that we get this thing done. Again, in 2027, I have made up my mind, irrespective of party, I'm going to work, campaign, spend money, invest, hire thugs to protect Mr. Peter Obi's votes.
Okay. All right. Mr. Lawal Ekundayo, How do you think we should bridge the gap, the vacuum that has been created in our nationhood, in our nationality, both tribe, both religion, both every aspect? How do we bridge this and look for a way through which Nigeria can move forward? We need to move forward. The country needs to be better. In a minute, please.
I would say that we should be objective.
Okay.
Stop being subjective. Stop letting them come with all these things that can divide, like tribalism, religion, all those. See, let us be objective. We need leaders that will fix the country. Let us look for leaders that can fix it. Let us look at the antecedent.
Okay.
Where are they coming from? Who are they now? What are their policy? Things like that. That is what we should be looking at.
Okay.
Not where the person comes from.
All right.
And another thing is, I want to make this thing very clear.
Okay.
Because I'm an educationist.
Okay.
I'm objective. You get it? If things begin to work, if we see policies, the government come up with policies, we see that, okay, these policies is going to do us favor. Of course, we give the government support. That's not a big deal. I'm not being any of these parties. We give the president a full support. That's why we analyze, so that we can have a better Nigeria. We can see where we are going. So if he begins to do the right thing, that we see it's the right thing, put things in place, we'll give him a clap, and then we'll give him the support. But now we are not seeing
right
it.
Mr. Ifesalako, you don't even have that positivity.
No, not that I don't have.
No, I mean, you say he cannot do the right thing.
Let me tell you why I can never support Tinubu. Let me say it on radio now. The fact that, right, he may not have been criminally convicted, but he was confirmed that he got himself involved in drug dealings. Let me tell you how terrible that is. As a young man, as a lady that you are, my elder brother here, at every point in our life, at some point rather in our life, we would have come across people that want to push our hands into bad things. I have had friends who invited me to come and do Yahoo before. I told them my conscience will not allow me to do it. I've had friends who said we should go and steal some things before. I told them I'm not going to do it. You are a fine, pretty lady. At some point, somebody would have come to you and say, oh, let's go and put our hands into prostitution. And you will say, no, I'm not ready to waste my body. So what it means is that, look, we still have conscience. It will take you as a person to kill your conscience to a particular dead end level for you to be able to get involved in such dealings. So when a man that has killed his conscience to the point of getting involved in drug dealings, you think such a person would think of, the people and that he wants to do well by them? He is a selfish, self-centered, egocentric man that thinks about himself and only himself alone. Let me tell you one of the projects that have been executed in this short time. Bola Tinubu military kiniko. No, now, if you want to get anything done, just put Bola Tinubu in it. They are doing Bola Tinubu University. Anything that is going to work.
Even against the constitution.
You see, that's what I'm saying. Just he look. And you people are expecting that anything will happen. It cannot happen. I'm not trying to. It can't happen.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to wrap up. We've actually gone beyond the normal duration for going on with this program, but I needed to give my Honorable Ifesalako the time to do his thing, because I don't know when next I'll be able to invite him here again. Today I was palpitating. I'm like, will this man eventually show up? But thank you so much for coming. We do hope that we'll have a better Nigeria, devoid of all of these inadequacies, and we work together as a nation, regardless of where we belong to tribally or religiously or even politically. We will just need to work together. Mr. Lawal Ekundaya, thank you so much for coming this evening. We'll work together to make on Friday. We're definitely working together on Friday. Tomorrow we're having Barrister Darlington, Monday, Thursday tonic. Ladies and gentlemen, do have yourself a beautiful, beautiful evening. Bye for now.
Bye.